It's an orange juice.
What's up guys, this is Yarn from Orange Juice. You guys asked for it, so we made it. A simple matter of fact is that the World Giant is overpowered. You're gonna have to accept if you don't have buildings, he's going to land hits on your tower no matter what. He was buffed too much, but he needed it to be respected. I'm certain he'll be nerfed in the next update. The best cards that counter the World Giant are Inferno, Mini P.E.K.K.A, and Barbarians. With an Inferno, a reactive plant is highly effective. Place the Inferno 2 tiles from the tower, right as he's almost within range of your arena tower. Easy positive elixir trade. If you messed up your timing, you can zap to reset the World Giant's target. If you couldn't aggro the Inferno in time, you can still reset his aggro. Planting troops inside of him will push him slightly out of distance of the arena tower. Even better, if you took down an arena tower, you can use the Inferno to push him out of range. Plant it one tile above your field, on the bridge. However, if you haven't taken down that arena tower, it's not possible to push him with an Inferno. On the flip side, if your opponent has lane control over you, it can seem impossible to avoid taking damage from the World Giant. Even if you react with an Inferno, then reset his targeting with Zap, he'll still have gotten a few shots in, and it was a negative elixir trade. You can push him with an Inferno, but if you overshoot and end up planting it too far, it'll just push him closer. Phone Cats once said, every card that you play, there's an exact perfect spot for it. You want to plant your Inferno precisely 2 tiles from the river. It'll actually shove him out of range of your arena tower, and cause him to aggro onto your structure. Why does this work? This is the approximate space he actually occupies. It's referred to as the hitbox. If you plant a tower on the edge, it doesn't touch his hitbox. If you plant a tower on his hitbox, it'll shove him in the opposite direction. Depending on where the World Giant was placed, it'll affect how far you need to plant the Inferno Tower from the river to push the World Giant. If he's planted on the tiles facing the King's Tower, you can plant the Inferno 2 tiles from the river. Beside the King's Tower, you need to plant the Inferno 3 tiles from the river. Around the edge, you'll need to plant the Inferno 4 tiles from the river. You can do this with small units like skeletons too. Before I explain that, you need to understand how to use him. If you plant the World Giant on the 3rd tile from the river, he'll be able to target the arena tower, without getting targeted by the King's Tower. If you plant the World Giant on the 4th tile from the river, he'll target the arena tower, but he's now within range of the King's Tower. You can building push with the World Giant at 3 tiles and 4 tiles. But you can only troop push when the World Giant is planted 3 tiles from the river. Why would you ever need to push with small units instead of just using a building? Maybe they have supporting units, and planting the Inferno far right is the only way to ensure the Inferno locks onto the World Giant. Having lane control really helps. I pulled the Barbarians away from the World Giant to ensure my Inferno would target him. Another card that can counter the World Giant is the Cannon. The optimal distance is 3 tiles from the river, and 1 tile from the arena tower. Alone, the cannon isn't an effective counter. But combined with any unit, even skeletons, it'll shut down the World Giant for a positive elixir trade greater than the Inferno. With the Tesla, if you plant at 4 tiles in the river, the Tesla won't activate. Here's where it gets weird. If you plant at 3 tiles in the river, one side will aggro, but if you plant it on the opposite side, it won't aggro. This isn't static. Other games, the sides will switch. The Tesla is expensive and unreliable. The cannon has a better cost, and the Inferno is simply stronger. If the World Giant is alone, goblins or skeletons are really strong. World Giant users quickly realize Infernos and goblins can kill him easily, so what they need to do is swarm troops in front of the World Giant to distract the Inferno. You just gotta be a step ahead of them and pack Zap or Splash units. Minion Horde is really strong at countering the World Giant, but it's lower reward for such a high risk move. You only stand to gain 1 elixir advantage if you succeed. It's easily countered with arrows or splash units. 3 minions paired with Zap are good. Nobody wants the arrow 3 minions. There's a high chance spear goblins will be planted, that's when you can Zap. Barbarians are one of the best troops to counter the World Giant. They deal huge damage, and by the time they've demolished the World Giant, you'll have accumulated even more elixir for a stronger counter push. If they decide to kill your barbarians, it'll force your opponent to spend elixir to kill them. They might get distracted with small units supporting the World Giant, so packing some splash can be handy. If you can afford a few hits on your tower, you can counter the World Giant with a mini P.E.K.K.A for a positive elixir trade, and it'll set you up for a counterattack. Sometimes the World Giant will be accompanied with other heavy troops. Fireball or Valkyrie will slice those troops away. A recent emerging strategy is the Witch Giant combo. They synergize very well. Her skeletons are key. They protect the World Giant, while the Witch splashes. Counter with a Splank like Valkyrie and Inferno for a positive elixir trade. Another good tactic is to send in a high HP card to distract Splash, then high DPS units to sweep up the Splashers. I used the Inferno to tank and distract 2 Splashers, then I swarmed all the Splashers with small troops. Occasionally you'll see a World Giant 3 Musketeer combo. Best way to deal with this is with a rocket. If you aren't packing a rocket, Freeze with Valkyrie or Barbarians work really nicely. That's a huge positive elixir trade, 9 for 15. Thanks for watching and don't forget to follow us on Twitter for more quality OJ.